Thank you. Councillor Sandals, did you want to come in there?
Yeah, only briefly on the engagement piece. As everybody knows here, you know, that quite often these surveys and emails go out to town councils and they're missed. And it's something that I'm really concerned about. And one of the things I think in, you know, a general meeting has come up, that it needs to be targeted. We need to write to our town clerks and, you know, make each letter personal rather than just a generic press release or whatever. There's this survey out. So this is something. And then all of us as part of our community, you know, need to do our bit as well, because obviously as elected members we all get these generic emails as well. It's, you know, it comes to us as well to sort of a responsibility to put it out there as well. So just to say that, but hopefully, you know, this is an ongoing issue, isn't it, with all areas really. So just to flag it up that we are aware with, you know, lack of engagement. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Thomas.
Yeah, thanks, Chair, and thanks, Dave, for the report. I think I'll refer to you now in the future as Toilet Czar, but I mean, you know, that might not be appropriate. Couple of things. One thing, I'm just surprised that you had so much discussion about the Welsh language signs. You know, we are in Wales. We come under the Welsh Language Act.
Oh, absolutely.
We are supposedly pushing the language, etc. So, you know, surely we should be able to sort out if we have to produce them in-house, you know, to go alongside. So, you know, hopefully that can be done. The main point that I want to bring up is the issue of changing places toilets. And I'm heartened to see now, yes, things have improved with Monmouth Leisure Centre and so on, and Abergavenny, which isn't quite up to standard, but almost there. But you know, the main point I would make is that for somebody with profoundly disabled relative, or taking somebody who's got profound issues, it's quite awkward if you go into Abergavenny, there is no provision within the town. And a number of people have raised this with me in the past. I know that talks now about the Melville replacing Tudor Street, and whether perhaps there would be a changing places toilet facility there, because that is literally on the edge of town. It's within walking distance of Tesco's in Abergavenny. So I just put that as an aspiration that we could have for the sort of toilet strategy. And lastly, just a comment, you know, White Horse Lane, I think that is very controversial, and certainly people have emailed me in the past. It's no longer in my ward, but you know, the one thing I would say there, it would be very difficult to bring that back into service. And also Gwent Police were always concerned about issues with drug taking and antisocial behaviour in that toilet block, and damage that was caused there. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Thomas. Dave, Andrew, do you have any comments there, or are you happy to move along? Councillor, oh sorry, go on, Dave.
Yeah, just to say, note I used to be based in the Melville, Councillor Thomas, so yeah, it is on the edge of town, isn't it? And when we were based, it's multi-use site, dance blasts around the back, etc. So that would be an ideal facility. I don't know, Jane, perhaps you know a timeline in terms of the Melville. Jane?
Well, the designs are in progress at the moment. There's just a few things to iron out in terms of making sure they're compliant with the heritage nature of the building. But yes, it's actively being taken forward at the moment.
Okay, lovely. Councillor Lucas.
Morning all. Thank you very much for the report. Very interesting. I suppose my experience is particularly in reference to Monmouth. So I went looking at all of that. Just things I've spotted really as much as anything. So page 28, item 32, Priory Street is no longer open. And then when also you go onto the map, it's showing as open and it's not, okay? On the data map, when you open up the Shire Hall one, the opening times, I know this is nitpicky, but if someone's going to be nitpicky, I'm sorry. The opening times aren't correct because Shire Hall isn't open every day. Likewise for Agincourt and Priory Street, Cattle Market, sorry, Agincourt Street and Cattle Market. The Cattle Market one says it's closed from October to March. It's not. It's open all year round. And opening times in general, we have an SLA with Monmouth Town Council, have an SLA with MTC. And one of our regular complaints at MTC is the fact that the opening and closing times seem to vary considerably to whoever's on the work duty at that day, who's actually responsible for closing it up. So it's often closed when it should be open. I know it's minor points, but if you're looking for a loo and you need it, then it's an issue. MTC actually have the SLA with the Capital Market one, and to be fair, I'm not 100% sure why we didn't take up much on the survey, because trust me, we talk about it a great deal at MTC about toilets, like you wouldn't believe. And I can even tell you how much money it costs because I'm involved in the finances of all that, so I do know quite a bit about it. Didn't know, and I'm questioning whether my clerk knows that there's a free service to inspect. I will go and do some more research on that. So yeah, it's quite interesting. Thank you very much. And it's not going to be easy to please everybody, is it? And it's as simple as that. And yeah, we're doing a grand job, and yes, we could do better. But yes, I get it, and thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Councillor Lucas. It's difficult to keep track of 38 in terms of the detail in each one, but take your point. Yeah, I'm just looking at line 32, the museum. Yeah, clearly that's not there now, is it? So yeah, we'll take. Yeah, if you can perhaps let me know those, we'll obviously update the database. It is going to be a movable feast, isn't it? It is in the report. We will have the facility to change ourselves rather than to go back to Welsh. It's been quite a task to get data map Wales to change it for us, so we will be able to do that ourselves, and things will change, won't they? So that would have been correct probably when it was done back in 2019. So we made amendment. I know Abergavenny again, we're quick off the blocks. I'm told it's not Baker Street, it's now the town hall. We changed that. We couldn't have got that feedback from Monmouth for whatever reason, but now you've told us we can make those changes. So thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Lucas. Councillor Strong.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to just touch on some of the points that have just come up and just make something else as well. The change in place is really good. That we do seem to be really thinking about this and actually moving it forward, and we look forward to the Melville plans coming into fruition as well. Along Severn side, a bit disappointed. Obviously, we've got Chepstow and the Mencat building, which is fab. The leisure centre in Caldecott isn't quite up to changing place standard, but there isn't anything else along Severn side. I am really disappointed that Mega Hub didn't go the full hog and have a change in place in there, because that would have been an ideal situation for people on a day out, whether they're coming back from shopping or whatever. So that's a real disappointment. I just want to, reinforce what Councillor Brown said about the safety of women and girls in public toilets. But I just wanted to touch on, and it's something that you, Dave, mentioned in passing, was a bit about damage to toilets and how much that's going on. And there was some indication in the report about working with Gwent Police about antisocial behaviour and drug taking and all that. And that must be huge for the members of staff that are going in there day to day to do the cleaning. And I think we ought to really appreciate their endeavours to keep us all, with those toilets, up and running, even when things are going on there. So could you just give us a bit more detail about, some of the stuff that's going on and how you actually manage that? Thank you.
Yeah. In terms of the damage to toilets, that can be considerable. I know that September, for example, Bailey Park, they smashed them up. So it's £3,500 that's got to come from a budget to repair those facilities. It is an ongoing issue. We probably could give you pounds and pence as to the costs of vandalism, but it is significant because they're unmanned, and unfortunately people go in and rip the doors down, which is a bit unfortunate. The Gwent Police, I think we just need to reconnect with them. They were very engaged actually in 2018, 2019. Again, particularly in Abergavenny, strangely, but I've seen an enthusiastic police officer there. So I think we do need to revisit that. But yeah, if you get feedback from Jan Baldwin, who's obviously the facilities cleaning manager, she says, drug paraphernalia is a big issue, so they do need to, and credit to them. So in terms of general cleaning, it'd be pretty unbelievable what people get up to in public facilities. But certainly the drug taking is an issue in terms of sticking in bins, so they're very careful in terms of collection of those bins. As are in Abergavenny, for example, PHS that pick up the sanitary bins as well. They're very mindful of sharps, which is unfortunately where people will use while starting about in the towns. So we like to think of them used as public toilets, but people are using them, unfortunately, for other reasons. But valid points on Gwent Police. I think there have been a number of changes in terms of the staffing locally, so I think it'd be helpful to re-engage with them and see what their issues are currently. But if you speak directly to cleansing staff, they do say there's a big issue with drug paraphernalia and obviously disposing of it safely. So when you go in at 8 o'clock, it's all been cleaned up, but can be a bit of a mess by all accounts. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Are there any more questions from members? Councillor Lucas?
Yeah, Chair, if I may, in reference to what we were the toilet Zara was just talking of then, David, in reference to the drug taking, in Monmouth we've actually put in the blue light, so at great cost a couple of years back actually, so that apparently, I should say apparently because I don't know, but when you're taking drugs, you can't see your veins, so that they can't use it or whatever it is. And we also were talking about providing, and I'm pretty sure we have, a safe sharps box. But that was the intention. And I was in the loos the other week, and I've got to be honest, I didn't notice the sharps box. So I will chase that up, because I know that was the intention, that we would have safe sharp boxes there.
Yeah, Jane, I was down in the toilets yesterday and I didn't notice a sharps box. That doesn't mean it's not there, but I don't think so.
No, I didn't either. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the blue lights. I know Chepstow looked at them, and I don't think they did pursue it, but they certainly thought about that in terms of discouraging people to use toilets inappropriately. The sharps, they'll just throw them in the sink, so they're not too concerned as to where they may put those sharps. But I think it is about, back to Councillor Strong's point, let's engage with Gwent Police, because they've changed so much in terms of personnel. What are the issues they're dealing with? I know they arrested some people in Abergavenny, for example, some years ago, particularly around White Horse Lane, as Councillor Thomas highlighted, and they were mad keen on getting it closed. There's a massive resource for us going down there permanently, dealing with drug taking. So that's another issue with that particular block. But I think that wider issue about antisocial behaviour, drug taking, sharp boxes, etc. We can have that discussion with Gwent Police and our cleansing staff as well. Thanks.
Okay. From me, just quickly, I know that we spoke about the radar keys in full council when Councillor Pavia's motion came to full council, and obviously Angela spoke about radar keys. Not everyone who has a disability gets given a radar key. There are clinics running out of places like Chepstow Hospital and Neville Hall for certain illnesses, especially for newly diagnosed patients who suffer from urinary problems. Are we able to engage a little more with those clinics and ensure that they're aware that they can get radar keys, I think, from the tourist information centres across Monmouthshire? If I'm correct, is that right, Dave, that we provide radar keys in our TICs?
Yeah, I think I'd call them hubs, but yeah, one of the same, I think, isn't it? To Cheryl Haskell and Abergavenny, yes. So if someone wanted a radar key, and they're not overly prescriptive, so they're not going to look at a list and say, actually, we think stoma friendly is at borderline. Yeah. They will provide that radar key. So you'd like to think that the clinics would tell them that. It's quite well known, the radar key system, isn't it? But if there is something to encourage, I'm not quite sure who tends to engage, perhaps maybe colleagues in James' section. How do we engage better with primary care, where you have people being discharged, be it hospitals and or GP surgeries? There is this radar key system, which is obviously national, isn't it? So you're off to Sheffield, you can use.
Yeah.
So it is a very good system. I think it's well known, but I take your point, Chair, that we could perhaps encourage that through any channels we'll have there in Iron Bevan. Actually, we have got channels, we're somehow trying to find the right people to.
Yeah, and also just whilst talking about an Iron Bevan, and if we are going to look to carry out another survey, there will be clinics, people will have to attend monthly clinics for certain illnesses. That is a great opportunity for people to fill out surveys whilst they're sat there receiving treatment. I'm just thinking of this increasing the numbers of people who participate in the in a survey and engage with us. That's just a note maybe for Angela to consider if we do get an opportunity to go back out and survey what people think. And also with regards to the bins for boys again, what are the timelines for this? Obviously you're reviewing at the moment what provisions you have available. When will we have an idea of what's required across the county for the bins for boys?
Yeah, so further to full council in December, I sent that to the necessary people, so it obviously involves the home lives and everyone else. Actually covered all workplaces, so the other communities and places and everyone else, schools. But in terms of the publicly accessible ones, what do we do? My advice to colleagues has been, including landlord services, let's see what's out there. So I think it's reasonable. A sanitary bin and disabled toilets will tick that box on it in terms of for most males that may require that service. And have we got them in the ladies? So I think that'd probably be a priority personally over male provision. So there's a bit of piece of work to be done, 24, 25, what a gap analysis, if you like, isn't it? What have we got out there? I could tell you a couple that haven't got any bins at all, be it for, wrappers in or anything. So we just need to make sure we've got some basic provision. Disabled and ladies, I would suggest, would be a priority, and then certainly look to see what have we got in terms of male provision. Just so you know, cleansing, first thing I said, is another bin to put in your drug sharps, etc. But that's something we're going to have to cross as we get to it. So to answer your question, it's gone to landlord services and cleansing. What have we got? There's a bit of a cost to that, isn't there, which isn't budgeted for currently, a revenue cost. So a provider would come out, as they do in Abergavenny, for example. There's a cost in terms of collection, which would be more than your general office space because people are a bit more random in terms of using bins in traditional toilet blocks than they would be in a workplace, for example. But certainly, we're starting the journey in terms of, I think Councillor Parver helpfully used that term, didn't they, in December, noting that there are some cost implications, some practical issues, but some of the town councils have come back and said, look, can we link with you to save some money? And if someone is trickling around in the van, the main thing is the collection, clearly, isn't it? If someone is going around the van, can we hook up with whatever MCC may be looking to provide to save on costs and a practical solution to something that impacts on the entire county? So hopefully that helps. So I can't say it's going to be July because there's a piece of work to be done to see what we got currently.
Thank you for that. So I think that's all the questions now. I'd just like to thank Angela and Dave for coming along to Place today and answering our questions. Obviously, I think the toilet strategy is always a really interesting report to go through. It helps support physical activity and fitness. People out and about, whether they're shopping, engaging in sport, walking, visitors to Monmouthshire, it's really important, and it also helps support adverse health effects. We've raised many questions and made many comments. So some of the comments and questions, obviously Councillor Bryn requested a bit more of an update with regards to stoma friendly status, the costs, some question around the Welsh Government grant of 17,200, and wanted to ensure that the website link is working because she went on this week and it wasn't. There were some concerns across the group with regards to unisex toilets and what sort of model we'd be looking to offer, and we wanted to ensure that single-sex toilets will still be available. Obviously, I understand Dave's concern around being too prescriptive in the wording of the strategy, so obviously I suggested that we look to set up a working group like we had previously. I know when Councillor Webb was part of that working group, they were looking at what we were offering, but maybe we look at something else, and this is one of the items we review. There were questions around how to improve engagement. Obviously, there was quite some low figures in certain areas of the county of those who participated in the survey, and I think we can all learn from Abergavenny Town Council, and part of that working group we could ask them to come along and speak to us and show us what they did differently. The bilingual stoma friendly stickers are outstanding at the moment, and members were keen to push ahead with getting these. There was some concern from Councillor Thomas regarding the lack of change in places spaces in Abergavenny Town Centre, and we've requested an update with regards to the Melville Centre. There was some discrepancies on the toilet map with regards to opening times, so we've asked members please send the team the updates and any changes that need to be made, and Dave will ensure that will get updated. There was some suggestion around sharp boxes and blue lights in toilets. I know we've discussed this previously. Councillor Strong raised concerns about the lack of change in places in Sevenside and how Caldicot Leisure Centre doesn't meet the requirements. We also wanted to understand a little bit more about the antisocial behaviour and vandalism of our public toilets. We need to re-engage with Gwent Police. There was a very good communication previously, but that seems to have dropped off, so hopefully we'll be able to pick that up. And I think we just want to show a huge appreciation to Jan and the team who maintain our public toilets across the county. They work exceptionally hard, and having clean toilets is vitally important for visitors and our residents, so thank you. We'll move on now to the Place Scrutiny Forward Committee Forward Work Plan. So,
Chair, do you mind if I leave now? Sorry to interrupt. Do you mind if I leave now? Thank you ever so much to everybody. Thanks to Dave and all the team that have pulled all this together, obviously, and it's been really interesting. Thank you very much.
Lovely, thank you.
Thanks.
So, Place Scrutiny Committee, 10th of April, we've got Climate and Nature Emergency Strategy, Nature Recovery and Food Strategy. Councillor Brown, I know that you wanted to come in here because obviously the deposit plan has been moved again. Would you just like to speak on this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned. It now says I think yesterday it didn't say anything, but I think now it says the 5th of December. Now, I don't know when the next, because I'm trying to look on the calendar and I don't know when the next Cabinet meeting is, because normally it goes to Cabinet and then full council. But my concern is the timing of it, so that it doesn't end up being consulted on over the Christmas holidays. You know, that 6-week consultation should be during school time. And I'm trying to, I can't get into the council calendar quick enough to actually find when the next meetings are. But I think that there is probably a full council in December sometime. I don't know if anybody can find it quicker than me. But then when it goes to full council, it's then endorsed and then it goes pretty quickly after then to out for consultation. So are we talking about the consultation starting virtually at Christmas time, and that is not at all suitable?
No.
So I think we need some feedback on that, because it should really wait until, again, I can't find it quick enough as to what the date of the meeting on January the 2025 is, as to when the date of the next county council is then. But it's very unfair to be consulting on a 6-week consultation thing, basically during school holidays, because nobody's going to answer it properly, and nobody's going to have to, and the town and community councils won't be meeting over the Christmas New Year period anyway. So I think that needs to be looked at properly, doesn't it?
Yes, I'm just trying to have a look on the forward work plan. Rob, do you have the date in December?
My computer's decided to not let me find the dates for December, but I would just say that we are seeking clarification from the officers, and have been for several weeks, about some of these items that have been deferred. This is one of them, so we aren't. We are keeping on top of it, and the last I was told was that it was originally down for June, and we were therefore going to scrutinise it in our May meeting, and that then it might move from June to July, in which case we would scrutinise it in our July meeting. I haven't heard anything about December. I've asked again for clarity as to which of those two it would be. The last I was told is it would be one of those. So the idea was that it would be this side of the summer. So that's hence I took it out of the May meeting on our planner, because it might not be in our May meeting.
Okay.
But I don't know anything about December. That's new to me.
I think what's happened is I'm looking on the public web. I can't find it now. Forward work programme. Yeah, it seems to have been recently altered. And it says on, I'm looking on my iPad now, and it says 5th of December. There's an awful lot of reports then. It says replacement local development plan, electric vehicle charging strategy, Abergavenny placemaking plan, Monmouth placemaking plan, Mega placemaking plan, pavement cafe policy, Bond Life heritage strategy, and active travel plans. Well, that is ridiculous to and actually there's even more than that then. Designation management plan, scrutiny of steam. Well, you know, the RLDP needs a meeting on its own.
I don't think they're meant. Sorry to interrupt. I don't think they're meant to be under the 5th of December. I think they're just
end of 24, early 25.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
So it's only the local development plan and electrical vehicle charging, and it's got to be confirmed under the 5th of December. What I'll do.
Oh yeah, so there's only two. There's only the there's only the RLDP and the electric vehicle. But I mean, the 5th of December. When is that going to full council?
I will write to Craig O'Connor and Councillor Griffiths this week and ask for an update on when this will be coming into place and when it will be going to consultation, because I will explain that members are concerned that the consultation will take place during school holidays, which is just not acceptable. And I know that they have extended consultations when they have been in school holidays previously, but let's see what they say, and then I'll come back to all the members in committee. Is everyone happy with that? Yeah. Okay. And then the council and cabinet work planner, obviously we've got concerns regard to the LDP. Is there anything anyone else wishes to raise? Okay. And got minutes are held for the 1st of February. Is everyone happy with the minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got Tudor and Jane. And next meeting is the 10th of April.
Okay.
Gosh, this year is flying by.
Is it, Chair, is it looking at there seems to be an awful lot of items that are coming up sort of the end of the year, early 2025, and you know, it doesn't seem to be spreading out the work that we're doing properly, does it, either? You know.
No.
Okay.
I'll speak with Rob and Hazel, and we'll speak with some officers, because it would be nice to bring some of these reports forward if possible.
As I say, we have been having those conversations because originally these were spread out nicely, but then a number of them got deferred. So we're trying to get them back into a spread out fashion now. But as I say, the dates, any dates that we have been given in terms of general dates, but dates nonetheless are on there, i.e. the placemaking plans. We know that those are going to be the end of the year or early next year, but everything else is still potentially to come forward, but we're just seeking clarity on which ones and when.
Yeah, because Chair, the difficulty is going to be if we have too many items at the same time, we're not going to be able to scrutinise them properly, are we?
Absolutely, yeah.
The next meeting is on that note, the next meeting is going to be something of a bumper-sized one, but the thinking was that all three of those things essentially fall under one umbrella, and it would make, because of their interlinking nature, it would make sense to scrutinise them together. So we have taken that decision, so we'll just have to strap in for a long one.
Okay. Make sure you bring your coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, members, for your.
Thank you, Chair.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye.